Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are queening in the city, and we promised you a second episode. Ladies, did we not?
We did.
We did.
Yes.
We did. And we talked about the art of friendship. Can Black women maintain healthy friendships? And I thought that was a very in-depth discussion. But we have to come back. We have to keep it real because I believe men cannot live on bread alone.
Yes.
And when we talk about the art of friendship, the art of love.
I love love.
Ooh, like the old folks say, if it had not been, somebody finish it off.
For the Lord on my side.
Tell me where would I be?
What would I do, Jesus?
Where would I be?
Hey, it's your girl Melody Cherie, and welcome to my world, the 7th Avenue Beauty Workroom. Listen, I have literally been able to take my brand from a $0 brand to a multi-million-dollar brand in just a small number of years. I want you guys to know that we are here delivering quality products that are natural, vegan, and paraben-free. Healthy skin is in.
Courtney, when you think about your toughest moments in life, mind over matter, did you navigate with Christ or without? Is that how important is that if you are a believer? And if not, is it a level of mindfulness? Is it a level of just disconnecting? What's your go-to?
My go-to is always the word. And I feel like even in the midst of my storms, I have a level of calmness because I know that no storm can last. I know that it's temporary. And I have trained my mind to just know that this too shall pass. It's just, we go through seasons. This is just my season. This is, character building, strength building. And I just know, I always rest in, I know that I'm going to get to the other side. I always know that.
That's good. And did.
And do, and will.
And will, always.
Did said, my spirit is saying, go to you.
I've done both. I've been with God and without him too. Ego gets in the way sometimes where you just feel like you're bigger than God or you are a demigod yourself and that you don't need the help because you got it. In particular, when I'm on my get back and I want to get you back and God says, no. And I'm like, no, I got it. I'm going to handle it. My gut is telling me, pause, stand down. Vengeance is the Lord, right? My physical is saying, hell with the spirit man, because my physical man is going to get you, And I've learned that lesson of not going with God because that fall is hard and it hurts. And sometimes it takes a long time to just get back to your original base. But I know with God, the base is just a springboard because you can skip over things that you're not supposed to have because he's like, you know what? Because favor and I love you and favor ain't fair, but I got you. We're going to skip 2 through 10 and I'm going to take you all the way to 20. So I've been on both sides.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Thank both of y'all for sharing. I see y'all's wheels are turning, baby. Milichan, what's your story about how you navigate life, the tough moments, the friendships, the love, all of that? Any type of relationship? Are you doing it with Christ? And if you're not a believer, what do you implement to keep you balanced?
Okay, so I am a believer, and I do understand what Estet was saying. Sometimes you don't listen and wait, but I do know that if you pray about it and you let it go, he can handle it. Because I've witnessed that myself. So in the things that I've witnessed, it's hard because we're human. It's the flesh. We're here on earth. So it's hard for us to just always live in that. But when you do get to that and maybe it has to get bad for you before you can let go and let him.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think I do seek God in everything that I do. Like every flight, every morning, every post, just let whatever I need to come out be the right thing. So yeah, but I think of course, we do things without listening.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. We do things without listening all the time, but I ask for forgiveness and I try to move on in another direction.
Look, do it again and ask for more forgiveness and do it again and ask for more forgiveness.
That you like to live in?
I love my fiction world.
Oh,
Yeah, I love.
Is that a great escape?
It's a great escape. I love I'm only an adult. Well, not an adult, but I'm only in nonfiction. When I got to do grown people stuff. But everything else, it's nice. It's a nice getaway. It's like, I'm a princess, and
I like it, Melody. You know what? I like the honesty that we possess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People always say, I enjoy y'all's podcast because y'all be talking real.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this, and this is all off subject, but I'm all off subject anyway.
Go.
I was watching a podcast last night because I was watching the show, and then I said, well, let me tune into their podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, they ain't got nothing on us. And I had, just a plug for
So
Queen.
God, you hear that?
I was like, they on
We need
TV,
to jump over
so
the
they
hurdles.
kind of got that backing because they're already on TV. But I was like, we give.
Yeah.
We give.
Sometimes it's not interesting. You don't know how people are sitting on TV.
Yeah.
Like, who do you know?
Like, yeah, because I was watching the show last night. Like, how did you get on there?
Yeah. Who do you know?
Well, let me stop. But look, let me stop. I almost said something. I want to say, how do we navigate life with Christ? I'm learning to do it my way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning that the beauty of having a relationship with God is your own personal relationship.
Always.
So I'm learning to undo all of the teachings, the stigmas and the igmas that I thought I had to be in order to cultivate a relationship that wasn't fun for me.
Mm-hmm.
It was scary for me. I don't want to be scared of God. I want to be in relationship with Him.
You're not supposed to.
And once I was able to really disconnect, I love being by myself, by the way, a lot. I love being by myself and working and thinking. And the more I've come to discover that He loves us just the way we are, I'm really starting to enjoy the relationship more and more and more. I also believe that a lot of our woes as men and women come from other people.
Yeah.
And I'm also having to tap into Him more and more to decipher between who should be and who should not be so that I don't have to experience the highs and lows with the woes of the wrong people.
Yeah.
Good word.
And that's the thing that you mentioned, that whole religious dogma that people are subscribed to and they don't know that they're subscribed to because it's so indoctrinated in them.
Yeah.
Once you start, like you said, discovering yourself and discovering your relationship with God, it unfolds in such a beautiful way that it cancels out that dogma and that doctrine.
And I think when you let go, like when you pray about it and you let it go, like you really for real let it go, and you see how it moves for you in your life, it draws you so much closer to God. Because it's like, I knew you could do it. I know you can do it, but you did it for me. And I'm going to let you do it again.
And again.
And again. And it's like, I'm not saying that you don't trust God, you don't believe Him to do the things for you that you ask. I'm not saying that. But I think when you really, really let Him take it on and you really take your hands off of it and see what He does with it, your relationship with God grows stronger. You like your trust, because you have to trust, And I think that is a beautiful thing. And that's where I am in my life. Like, I know I mess up all the time, but when it's something I really need to deal with, I have learned, and I'm still learning, to just really let it go. But when I really let it go and get my hands off of it, it's a beautiful thing.
It works itself out.
You live a healthier life too,
really
because
do.
your cortisol levels are low.
Yeah, I like that song.
Yeah.
Your stress level is low.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your mental clarity is
good.
high.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love it.
The makeup artist this morning when she was doing, she's a Christian, and she had to find her way back, right? And we always have great conversations. And she was saying that a lot of people don't know the word. And because of that, they're overwhelmed by it. And to me, that hit home. I'm like, that's true. Because when you see, quote unquote, the teachings of the Bible, I ain't gonna lie, I'll be like, I can't do all that. You can't do this. You can't pierce your ears. You can't get a tattoo. I can't drink. Wait a minute. I can't have no champagne.
That's man-made. That's man-made.
But see, you have to get there to know that.
Yeah.
Because most people are going to push that up on you.
Yeah.
They weaponize it, though, for their own good, though.
I don't know. When you think about churches and your introduction, see, most people don't have a chance to break it down when it's being thrown at them. When you join church, you go to this, you go to that. So for a new person or a person that's reads that, it can be completely overwhelming to kind of figure out where you belong, what you apply, and how you apply it. And for that, most of us would be like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I grew up going to private schools, right? Catholic school. Like I said, I was raised by my maternal grandparents who were apostolic Pentecostal. So, it's the holy roller, right? But my grandmother was a practical person, meaning if it's cold outside, you better go put on a pair of pants. Forget that skirt,
Right.
or whatever. And so I would always, because I've always been the kind of kid where I would just question. I've always had a strong relationship with God, even as a little girl, right? I would give those nuns, and I was taught by the real nuns with the habits and everything. I would give them the flux so bad because, again, the dogma, this, you got to do this. And I'm like, no. And so,
Thank God for Baptists.
Yeah.
Do you feel like people can, and this is more of a churchy question.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They always say people should sense the Christ in you, the presence of Jesus. Do you feel like if I just left that question like that without cleaning it up and putting a little seasoning, a little Lowry's on it, do you feel like you give off Christ?
It depends on how Christ is showing up in them.
Mm-mm.
A lot of times, if you are, what people consider maybe a Bible thumper, then you might not see the Christ in me because, I don't know what your eye is looking for.
Right.
Are you looking from your man-made eye? Or are you looking from, it depends. It depends on the person that's trying to pass judgment.
Oh, I like that. That's trying to pass judgment.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is that?
No, because like Courtney said, we're going to perceive people based on our own inner thoughts and our own inner understandings. And that doesn't come from, being godlike because we're not God. So we can't see someone in a manner that the Heavenly Father or Christ, the universe, source, whomever you subscribe to, sees it. So just because of the human frailty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Okay. Why you say it like that? You said no.
No.
That's the way you said
No.
Yeah. Know it, y'all. I'm only laughing because of your facial expression.
I try not to have any expectations, right?
Do you think people perceive or feel that from you?
I don't know. I just know that, I'm a good person, right? I'm not a spiteful person. I have learned, I'm older now, so I've learned that I can let him handle you better than I can handle you. So I'm easy to move on. I'm real easy to move on. But I don't have a lot of expectations. I have to let you come to me and just see how it works. And then, I'm going to be that person. And I know immediately if I'm going to talk to you, if I'm going to handle you like you're my friend, if you're going to be an associate, or if I'm never going to talk to you again. I know that. And I know that may be hard, but I don't let things in that I don't need anymore. So me showing up for you is just a really true, pure person that has a zero slate, And for me, if it's different, I hope that what you see is, I'm not going to say godly, but I hope that what you see is fair.
Oh,
that's what I hope that you see from me. Yeah. That's what
I think that describes you to a T.
Yeah,
From what I've been able to experience.
Yeah, I want to, because everybody, how what we do, people take sides and all that. Before I just really take a side, I look at everything, and I was like, well, why did this person do that? And even if that person did that, why did they do it? What did this person do to make them do that? And then, you have your opinion. Everybody has their opinion and all that. But I try at the end of the day to just be fair.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I like that. You got me thinking now. I don't know if people would see Christ in me. Because I'm all over the place. I am. Look how Courtney
I'm
looking at
multifaceted.
me.
I'm multifaceted. So.
I am. I'm a free spirit, and I feel like God has given me the anointing to be free because he whom the Son has set free is free indeed.
And true
So
indeed.
I've embraced the freedom of being in relationship with God and Christ. And sometimes I think that confuses me because I'm like, well, maybe you too free.
Do you think you're too free?
No.
Okay.
But I go back and forth.
Yeah.
But isn't that the ultimate goal, right? When we think about
Nirvana.
the word.
Yeah.
And then I say, well, maybe you're too free. Because I used to be
Dogmatic.
a Bible thumper.
Really?
Heck
You were
yeah.
dogmatic? Really?
Wow.
Girl, yeah. Big time. Big time. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness.
I was about to say, I needed you to ring my doorbell.
I
would give them a run for their money.
As a little girl?
Really?
I was giving way more Bible thumper. Like
Thank
I was
God
giving
for
kind of Bible
Baptist.
thumper.
You was
in my
giving Bible
younger days.
thumper?
Thank God
Because
for
you
Baptist.
have to, if you were raised in that and that's what they taught
We all do
you,
stuff like
I was given very much. You can't do this. You can't. You know, I was giving Bible thumper.
Oh yeah,
That's
I will
the
put
dogma
you
that I talk about.
in my head. Look,
Surprising.
I needed you to ring my doorbell.
But then I couldn't sustain that. And not because of sin or anything like that. Hell, I wanted to have fun in college.
Yeah.
And I found myself not laughing. You know what I mean?
We only
Trying to be
celebrate birthdays.
having fun.
You want to wear some shorts?
Yeah, I remember me and my friends call ourselves being Christians on campus, and all the other kids went to the party. If you tuned in, Mike Clark, am I lying?
Ooh, Mike.
Put it in the chat. Mike, we all said we're not going to the party because Jesus said we should.
Ooh.
So we made that pact with each other. I guess we all got tired of that individually, and nobody told him while we was all at the club. Tell me, what
at the
you
same
doing?
time, right? Talking about Jesus
Everybody
turn water to wine.
Everybody turned
And I came to see.
Yeah, because I think a huge part of that is being balanced and really finding your lane with that. Not to the point where you're being, what do they call it, a hypocrite?
Yeah.
I think when you get to college, that's where things really change for you.
Yeah.
Because if you are brought up as being Jehovah's Witness or Pentecostal, like you're in the house, and you have to
Catholic
take
too.
what you have to take what it is.
Now I did a little bit of Baptist too. Now, but go ahead.
Shout out to the Baptists. But when you get to college, or when you, not so much as college, doesn't have to be that, but when you get out of your parents' home and you start to see different things and how people move, and like, oh, I can wear some jeans. It's 3 degrees outside. Let me put some jogging pants on. You're not going to hell if you put some pants on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And at some point, I think as I grew up, I was like, this is man-made stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, me going to choir practice because I'm told I got to wear a skirt is not going to make me sing any less if I wear pants. And I think that it's just like, as you grow up, you learn things, and your walk with God, you know what I'm saying, has nothing to do with whatever somebody told you, because your walk is your walk.
Exactly.
And I think, I agree. I think I went through that phase where I left the church for a while, like for a long time. And I started exploring like just what's out there.
You seeing me home bedside Baptist?
I just started exploring like what else is out there, what else, you know, what ministers to my soul. And I still practice. I'm a free spirit. I'm a free thinker. I still practice some things to this day that are not non-traditional.
Okay.
But what I started to notice as well is a lot of people with the old time church, a lot of people have the old time religion and they start worshiping the pastors. The pastor said, you can't do this. The pastor said, and then I started to notice God has a word for me. I've created this relationship with God. God can speak directly to me.
And does.
God is not a God where he's just talking to your pastors, where he's just talking to your grandmamas, your aunties. You cultivate that relationship. He will speak directly. Speak to my heart, Lord. Give me your holy word. You know what I mean? If I can hear from you, then I know what to do. I can't go alone. You know, that song is like a ministry.
Yeah.
When I started to get to that point and I started to stop, not saying don't have respect for your pastors. That's not at all what I'm saying. But
don't worship them.
Right. Yeah. It's not, we're worshiping God, not the pastors.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And God, if he's giving a word to you, to them, he can definitely give a word directly to you and through you.
And then you have to have the pastors too who don't act like they're supposed to be worshiped, because you have a lot of pomp and circumstance Because I'm definitely a member of Bedside Baptist too, because of I don't like the pageantry of churches. You know, I can't stomach it. So I'm like, you know what? I'll do my own praise and worship 7 a.m. every morning in my own prayer closet.
Yeah.
With my own, you know, whatever. But the pomp and circumstance of the churches.
Yeah.
I'm glad y'all talking about pastors, because both of y'all triggered something. I grew up religious, but when I first came to know the difference between the Word of God and the love of God is when I went to Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, before they moved to the arena with Pastor Joel Osteen. That's when I first started hearing somebody telling me how much God loves me, how much God wanted me to be successful. And I know there's a lot of controversy on prosperity preachers, but I needed that softness. Because there's already a stigma about us being too hard as Black women. And then you get to the brimstone, firestone Baptist, Jehovah's Witness that adds a little bit of a shell to you. And that was the first time I heard a pastor in that setting talked about how much God wanted you to find a husband that could take care of you, a husband that loved you. And baby, I was sold after that. I was like, what? God is nice. Instead of all of the religious, you gonna go to hell if you do this. And I'm not
fear-mongering.
Yeah, there's a right or wrong way, but I'm saying that set me free to start discovering more about the promises of God.
That's good.
And they are full.
Yeah.
And all-encompassing.
That's when I started saying, I can be picky about the men I date. Because Joel Osteen said, if I want this in my head, right? Yeah. But then I attribute that to, I don't even want to go that deep. I don't even want to go that deep. Because now I question, was it a matter of having the word or the love of Christ coming at me represented by a man? Because a lot of us don't have men in the house to reinforce that. So I think it was a little bit of both that ignited the fire within me and my femininity that you are supposed to be taken care of. And not only that, God is already doing it for you. And that's how you select a man.
Yeah.
I know I kind of went off.
No. That was good.
That was really good.
It's a conversation.
Yeah. What about that? Have you ever, when you think about the word and as it relates to your love life or your partnership or your marriage, have you ever really, how do you apply that if you have, or do you wish you had? Take your time.
Oh, that's a good
wish I
question.
had.
Take your time now.
I applied it when I was trying to get out. Lord, help me, deliver me. Deliver me, Lord.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was crying out then, but
you were.
I think I should have incorporated it more into my relationship. I think I was operating off of flesh. Yeah, it wasn't. Mine didn't have a whole lot to do with Christ. It was a whole lot of flesh. Like I saw him.
I'm sorry.
No, for real.
No, I'm not talking about
funny,
you.
but
Hold on, we want to hear.
But Courtney's
no,
got a
I
moment.
saw him
from
and
Christ to gossip a little bit. That's it. We like that sounds good.
I saw him and I was like, me and my homegirl was out, and I was like, I want him. And he walked by and she tapped him on the shoulder. And she was like, my homegirl want to talk to you. And this, like I said, back then I was young. I used to be dressed up all the time. And so that's how it was flesh. And, had I not been operating in flesh, I probably wouldn't have even gone. Because my father loved me.
Yeah.
My dad loved me. My dad was in Michigan and, we moved to Georgia. But my dad never made me feel like I wasn't everybody knew. When I came back to Michigan, my dad loved me. So it wasn't for a lack of, my father not showing me love. I was operating in flesh.
Gotcha. Was that the same homegirl that was in a delivery room?
No, it's not her.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's not her.
I had to throw a little piece in there.
I'm going to send you a video of the home.
That's
Send me, 'cause I
good.
can look at it. Question for you. You heard look, I don't want to get tongue-tied. Is there a time that you probably should have relied more on the word and not on the flesh? Or do you feel like you've done a good job thus far?
I think I've done a good job, but the caveat is, like, all of my husbands, we've always prayed together. They've always covered me. The such and such husband that we don't talk about, I met him at church. I feel like there are a lot of men who go to church to prey on women. Because of what you said, women are looking for that leadership in the home, and why not go to church? He's God-fearing, allegedly. He serves in the church and the community. allegedly. And you know, why not? Right? He's a good pick, but God didn't tell me that joker was the Pentecostal pimp.
In the pulpit.
Not in the pulpit, just, you know, making his rounds. So, you know, church pray is a real thing too. So you can pray.
Okay, I'm going to come back to that. Remind me about what you just said to trigger my memory after she goes. Because I got a question for you based on that.
Just sitting here listening to this, I realized that both of my ex-husband's fathers were preachers. So, so like, my first one, he married us. And I didn't let him counsel us because I thought that would be wrong. And the second one, he's a bishop. But they were both divorced, so there was something broken there for me, right? So I feel like I need to get it on my own. But it was like, God was in our families. Like, we went to church. It was nothing, you know. With the first one, it became a problem because I wasn't about to wear dresses all the time. Like, you knew what you was getting yourself into. So you might want to cross over.
You want to show a little leg, a little ankle?
I'm not going to compromise on that. That's a man-made thing. Like,
what?
You know, like, well, you should be Pentecostal. Sir, no. My mouth is too ridiculous to be Pentecostal. So,
you're too slick with it.
Way too slick with it.
Oh, my gosh.
But as we were talking, I was like, both of my husband's fathers were pastors. You know, and then you look at it, they're both were divorced. And my first husband, the lady that he was with, she was so different from his first wife, from his mom. I was like, wow, you really have to get things on your own. I think that's when, just sitting here listening to y'all, I was like, wow. But I had covering, you know what I'm saying? And in my current relationship, there's covering, right? And it's love. So it's
good.
You know, yeah.
I wouldn't want no church man.
Never.
I'm sorry. I just see too much wishy-washy. And that goes back to what you were saying.
So like you couldn't be a first lady. That's what you're saying.
Let me tell you. Can I tell you something?
You could be a first lady.
Absolutely not. And you know what? I kind of acted up on purpose all my life not to. I came out the word. Let me tell you why. When I was a little girl, and I probably was 10, a lady prophesied over my life that I was going to be married to a preacher. You know how they come and they have them evangelists? I'll never forget.
Girl, you better stop letting everybody
and
pray over you.
I started crying.
Ooh.
And they asked me what was wrong. I said, I don't want to go sit in church all day.
Well, maybe y'all have a new age church. You ain't sitting in there,
I was 10.
Get your word.
And to me, that wouldn't have been a good, even at 10,
and that's
the heaviness of coming up under that, I didn't want that as a little girl. And I think subconsciously, I've always kept a little bit of rogueness, wildness in my system to make sure I was not first lady material, ever.
Now, my second husband,
does that make sense?
He wasn't a pastor.
First lady material.
I can see her do.
You get first lady material.
Excuse me?
No, I mean, you don't.
You was married.
I'm not first lady material.
I can see that.
She hating on me.
Because
of your first lady.
She hating on me. I rebuke you in the name of
there's
Jesus.
no hate.
Because of the poise and the posture that you possess.
No, I get it. Like, I don't
and
think.
her leadership.
I mean, after so long.
You see how we so honest with each other?
You mean, like, I'm talking about, like, after so long. You know, like, if you met a man and he was a preacher and this was like, okay.
I don't see her having like a traditional church. I see her like doing their own thing. Like, like it's a church where I live called like street church. Like they do their own. It's like not. It's very non-traditional.
I got you.
But I think at some point, like you are a free spirit. You really are.
I am.
At your core, you are. And I'm not saying you couldn't marry a minister. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that sometimes with you being a free spirit, you need somebody who can accept and support you. And sometimes you have to be in the opposite roles. And that would sometimes kind of clip your wings a little bit.
Well, no.
QITC gonna be a pastor in 2 years.
Okay.
I disagree with her. Let me tell you why. It's called an independent thinker.
Okay.
And if you understand the philosophy behind that, most millionaires are free spirits. When you think about the likes of, let's talk about it, the Elon Musk, the Donald Trumps, the Kamala Harrises, those, you can't clip their wings.
No, you can't.
And expect them to be VPs and expect them to be the gazillionaires and innovators and creators and leading the future.
Yeah.
You don't get support on that level. You are the support. And that's where you have to know your purpose and know what you've been called to do. Because you can't stand high and look down and say, I wish I had that.
Right.
You can't have this and that.
Right.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right.
Makes sense.
So either you sit in your purpose confidently and know that God is your support, or you give it up to somebody that can handle it. So clipping the
Free
wings.
spirits aren't going to give it up, though. They're not going to give it up.
But see, I'm talking about what she's saying. Somebody got to clip your wings.
No.
Why? So I can't fly?
No. I'm not saying that.
At my high elevation?
Were we talking about the change today? We were talking about accepting
But you said they need to clip my wings.
No, I'm saying you could, because you are such a free spirit and you are a forward thinker and you are a creative. You know what I mean? If you were to marry someone who was a minister, I'm not saying that he would want you to change, but there's going to come an adapt moment.
Let me ask, are there any ministers out there?
It just depends.
It's going to have to be some adaptation.
Okay, let me ask. Somebody go run and get a minister. If you're tuned in, ask a minister, is there an expectation, not from me, but a woman of multiple strengths, is there an expectation for her to come down to sit next to him as a first lady?
That's a good question.
Y'all let us know.
Hey, it's your girl Melody Cherie, and welcome to my world, the 7th Avenue Beauty Workroom. Listen, I have literally been able to take my brand from a $0 brand to a multi-million-dollar brand in just a small number of years. I want you guys to know that we are here delivering quality products that are natural, vegan, and paraben-free. Healthy skin is in.
That's
a great question.
That's a great question. No, because I think you're right.
It's hard sometimes, because if you are doing you know what I mean, you're doing all your queening things, right? And you're married to a minister. And sometimes you say things. And he's like, you can't talk like that because you're the first lady.
Look at Giselle Bryant, though. She's a first lady.
Not anymore.
She was.
Look at
but it's always been inside of her.
But not
Megan
anymore.
Good.
Megan Good.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
They not anymore.
No.
But they still were themselves while being at the right
She was
hand.
the first lady for 10 years?
But
Who, Giselle? Yeah.
but
Megan Good.
He couldn't handle that. That's why they didn't make it.
So is that why he cheated on her?
I don't know if
Yes.
he cheated.
He
now.
cheated.
She
said
did.
He
it.
didn't cheat.
Giselle said that.
I'm talking about
Oh,
Devon.
Giselle. We know Giselle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were talking
Sorry,
about
Pastor
Megan.
Brian, but we know the
sorry.
story.
We know, yeah. We already know.
But,
Okay.
But yeah, I'm talking about Megan. It was just became a lot because Devon he loved her. The divorce was hard for him. But because Megan is in the spirit with her husband doing this, but when she has to get on stage and she gotta kiss this other man, it was a problem for the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
He still went back and got a clone of sexuality.
Because that's what he likes.
A younger
A
version.
man gonna
But
get what
she's
they
not Megan
like.
Good.
That's what he's like.
But she's still...
She probably go to work every day.
Listen, do you see what she looks like?
And I think
It's
that's
not
his
giving first
ego,
lady.
though,
No,
too.
she's
I think it
beautiful.
was
It's
his
not
ego.
giving first lady.
But she's
It's
not
giving
Devon.
Instagram.
She's not an actress.
With him and Megan Good,
But it's
why
giving
they didn't work
Instagram.
out.
I'm sorry.
Well, she can give it
you
interest.
think
Yeah.
that he couldn't handle?
Yeah.
I think Carrie gives Instagram.
It was his ego.
Carrie. Sorry, Carrie. I think she gives Instagram. I think she's beautiful, but she
This
gives
is a
Instagram.
really good conversation. Dang, I wanna wrap it up, but I want to continue it. Let me ask y'all something.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to some of the most fundamental components to being a woman and being successful in your divine femininity, what would you say or what would you share with the audience? Who wants to go first?
Say that again.
Yeah, let me grasp
Oh,
that.
Lord.
One more
Okay, as it
time.
relates to rest, what are some of the most important fundamental components spiritually? I didn't say religious.
Mhm.
As it relates to being a woman, being free, and resting in your divine femininity, what would you say?
Your confidence. Be who you are. No exceptions. No apologies. Just be who you are. And whoever is not able to deal with that, they're not meant to be with you.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Millie. I say duality. I believe in duality, as above, so below. I also, I'm also very aware of my masculine energy. So I know when to, when I'm operating in my masculine and when I need to operate in my feminine. So just duality, confidence. I agree.
Self-love.
Self-love.
Self-love. If you don't love yourself wholly, no one else can.
I love it.
I agree with that.
I'm
love
receiving
that.
all of that y'all just put out. I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna say knowing that femininity looks different on each woman.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Absolutely.
It looks different on each woman. And then the masculinity part, we both possess masculine.
Right.
When I say both genders possess both masculine and female traits and qualities. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't ever allow somebody to weaponize your strengths, which are masculine. And I'm an earner. I know how to go get money. I know how to find it.
Right.
You know, as far as a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
And I think women have to be able to embrace their masculinity, huh?
I like that. Oh, wait, that may be fun. I like to be a damsel sometimes.
No, go ahead.
You like resting in your softness,
Yeah, I'm
right?
definitely resting in my femininity. Like I don't think I have masculine energy. I'm a soft
pull up
kind
my
of girl.
birth
You ain't got no. We all do. You have to have.
I am bossy.
Okay,
That's
but
a masculine trait.
But you can't tell me what to do if you can't tell me what to do. That's where I am.
That's your masculine.
That's masculine.
But I'm always feminine, right?
Right.
My no is masculine. Well, I'll say this. My no is masculine. That is by how.
Do you make money?
I do.
Do you go to work?
I do.
Then you're not resting in your divine.
No, but I'm happy with what I'm
Okay,
doing. Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm happy with what I'm doing.
I pulled my birth chart because I've been studying my birth chart as well as my children's to try and just understand myself better and my children better. And I have way more masculine energy in my birth chart than I do feminine.
Really?
Because your house is aligned in different
And for those of you
planets.
that disagree with me, I'll use a biblical, or when God calls us to be yet sharp and gentle. That's masculine and also feminine. Sharp and gentle. Sharp is like the edge of a sword, right?
Wise as a serpent.
And as gentle as a dove.
Gentle as a dove. Matthew.
Sharp and gentle.
Heavy on the dove.
And I just think, thank you, ladies. That was such a phenomenal conversation. Real quick, we have a guest in the studio. And what I would like to do, really quick, is for each of you, if you can, I'm going to start with you, the estate.
Okay.
I want to take 30 seconds really quickly. And we it's Marquez Burnett, y'all. Marquez Burnett. And yay! Lead the bottle.
Marquez, put the bottle down, Marquez.
I had to listen to 4 women talk.
So real quick, this is what I want you to do. I want you to sit right here real quick. This is something impromptu. Welcome, Marquez, y'all. He's our queen in the city. Yes. Millie Sean, scoot over.
Shout out Marquez. Woo woo.
Woo, woo.
Scoot her mic over.
All right. Ladies, if we can do this, y'all. And we got to wrap up, but we want to do something. We got to wrap up, but we got to do something really quick. You're going through a lot right now, and you're navigating a lot. And this is not a victim party, but this is how we rally together as a community. So as a group of women, they don't know, but I'm going to ask you if you could just take 30 seconds, 15 seconds to bless him with a word of affirmation. What would you say to him as he navigate this new journey in his life?
It goes back to what I said, the self-love. You are a king. You came into this realm, this dimension as a king. You're going to walk as a king because that's what God ordained you to be. So when you feel wayward, just know that your first breath was a breath of a king. Live it out loud, unapologetically. I salute you, King.
Courtney?
My favorite scripture is God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, peace, and sound mind. When I say God has not given us a spirit of fear, fear of flying, fear of failure, fear of letting go, fear of losing control. God has not given us those spirits. Those spirits those are not of him. So those should not reside in us. But of love, stay in the love, keep your peace, and a sound mind. When you have a sound mind, you can make sound decisions, proper decisions. You can get proper discerning, receive the word. So God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, peace, and a sound mind.
Amen. Millichan, what would you like to bless him with?
I think honesty and accountability. I think those are the 2 things that, at this point, the way we have come to know you, there are some things that maybe we need you to just take on. But I think if you're honest with yourself and where you are in your life and whatever your position was and what you're dealing with, I think once you take that on, pray about it, and give it up, I think you'll move a whole lot smoother. I really do think that for you.
I think what I want to give you and what I would like to remind you is this too shall pass.
Oh, yes.
And every time you feel like you can't take anymore, you have to say something, this too shall pass.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's a new day, and God will continue to refresh you and renew you and give you everything you need. And even when it's not enough, the one promise that he has said that he will give you this day, your bread.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that changes every day.
He will give you this
Renewed
day,
every
your
day.
Every
daily
day.
bread. And at first I wanted you to say something back. I don't. I just want you to take that love, to take that support, to sit on it and use it as you wish. So you guys make sure you uplift Marquez. You keep sending out positive affirmations for not only him, but his family as they begin to navigate through all of this, okay? Yes. And with that being said, thank you, Marquez, for dropping into the studio.
This means a lot for me as a man to sit amongst 4 queens from all different walks of life and different experiences to give me an opportunity to see the bigger picture. So I value the conversation and not the judgment, right? Based on what y'all seeing on TV, but y'all been able to feel my energy, right? And I've been able to feel your energy and understand that we all go through things. And like you said, there's a bigger picture. And if I keep God first, then I think everything's gonna work out. And that's what I hold true to.
100%.
So thank you, women. Thank you, Queen. Thank you, Queen. Thank you,
You're welcome.
Queen.
Thank you.
Like, we need this. And I think the conversation needs to be more had. And I think us men, because we are supposed to be pillars and strong, right? We're not always strong, because behind every great man is a great woman.
Correct.
So
Next
I appreciate
to, beside.
I'll say behind.
That's all right.
Trust me, because we go to the
Let
ends
him
of the earth
rest
for
in the
y'all.
love.
Listen, we go to
Let
the
him
ends of
rest
the earth for
let
y'all.
him rest
Because
in the
if you
love.
want to
I'll
go
let you rest.
biblical, Adam and Eve
I'll
could have
let
just
Okay, we're
said
gonna
it.
wrap up.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap up.
Yeah, we'll let
Thank
you
you,
rest in
everybody,
it.
for tuning in. Lily Chan got in her masculine.
All right. I'm trying to get
Thank
Cheers
you.
to a great segment, and thank you, Marquez.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.